Hello everybody. Welcome to my English class. Today I will explain you poem 2 Confessions of a Born Spectator by Frederick Ogden Nash. Let us understand about the author. Frederick Ogden Nash was an American poet, well known for his verse. He was declared the country's best known producer of humorous poetry. His poems have unconventional rhyming schemes. His verse earned him a place on a postage stamp. Let's know the meaning of the poem stanza wise. One infant grows up and becomes a jockey. Another plays basketball or hockey. This one the prize ring hates to enter. That one becomes a tackle or center. I am just glad as glad can be that I am not them, that they are not me. Meaning of these lines. The poem brings us the attitude of a born spectator who avoids participating in sports events. He is a lover of sports, only as a spectator and not as a participant. Around him he finds boys adopting different games. One goes in for horse riding and becomes a professional jockey. Another becomes a keen lover of basketball or hockey. The third one dislikes boxing and another becomes a rugby player. But the speaker is very happy in being a spectator only and not a sportsman like other. With all my heart I do admire athletes who sweat for fun or hire, who take the field in gaudy pomp and maim each other as they romp. My limp and bashful spirit feeds on other people's heroic deeds. The spectator, no doubt, admires athletes who sweat for money or for pleasure. He frankly admits that his own spirit is weak and shy, so he's contented with only watching the heroic performance of other people. Now A runs 90 yards to score. B knocks the champion to the floor. Cracking vertebrae and spines, lashes his teeth across the line. You would think my ego it would please to swap positions with one of these. One man is a champion, runner, another a renowned boxer. They compete with one another to win the game and bag the prize. The rider is risking his bones and spine, lashes his horse hard to win the prize. One may think the spectator also feels tempted to take the position of the winner, boxer, or jockey. Well, ego, it might be pleased enough, but zealous athletes play so rough. They do not ever in their dealings consider one another's feelings. I am glad that when my struggle begins, twist prudence and ego, prudence wins. When swollen eye meets gnarled fist. Of course, this exchange of position with one of the athletes or world champions may please his ego. But sportsmen as a rule plays a very rough game and don't have any consideration for the feelings of one another. So whenever there is a conflict in the mind of the spectator between carefulness and self-centeredness, his carefulness always wins and he never opts for participation in any game or sports. When snaps the knee and cracks the wrist, when official dome demands, is there a doctor in the stands? My soul in true thanksgiving speaks for this modest of physiques. He sees one boxer giving a powerful punch on the already injured eye of his opponent. At such a critical moment, the person organizing the game remains cold and callous. He is not moved by the suffering of the athlete. He just calls the doctor to treat them. The spectator, however, feels deeply moved and he thanks God for not giving him a very athletic body. Athletes, I'll drink to you or eat with you, or anything except compete with you. Buy tickets worth their radium to watch you gambol in the stadium and reassure myself anew that you are not me and I am not you. Addressing athletes, he says that he will gladly drink for their health and dine with them, but he will never compete with them in the playground. He would buy tickets and enjoy the games. Then he will get great comfort to think that he, unlike the players, is only a spectator. Thus, children, the suitable moral is the poet wants to be as a spectator. He doesn't want to be as the athlete, jockey, and a player. Hope you would have understood the poem. Will meet you in my next class. Thank you.